I mean, and they also know that we have the Titan to put into play, so they have to counter this breach, which is quite nice. Just the instep threat, untap threat, you know. It's almost like collected company in that way, I guess. We currently have 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We could cast an Emrakul if we draw it. We could actually just hard cast Emrakul. Hello and welcome everybody. We are back here with Breach Amulet for match 2. If you did not see match 1, then you're missing a ton of good information on what's going on in this deck. For example, why are we playing Through the Breach and Emrakul? Why are we playing a copy of Teetering Peaks? What is the plan for this deck? What does Through the Breach add for it? All kinds of good information. Why the sideboard looks the way it does, the origin of this deck list, all these things you can find in match 1. I will not be covering that here. And yeah, for now, let's just jump straight into this game, and maybe we can breach out an Emrakul this time. Alrighty, let's hop in here. On the draw. Sad. Ooh, this is a Breach Emrakul hand if I've ever seen one, though. We gotta top deck this red source, but other than that, I mean, admittedly, breaching out a Titan with this could be lethal. Ugh, Celestial Colonnade, no. Not you. Titan, okay. We'll play out the Amulet and pass. Next turn, we're probably just casting this Explore. If our opponent's playing the Ragavan Stoneforge deck, then we might be able to copy one of their lands for a red source. It looks like they're on more of a Esper or blue-white control deck list, though, considering Celestial Colonnade is the card that they've played. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast the Explore here off Garenbrig, so we can Vesuva copying the Garenbrig, I suppose. Or we could Boros and pick up something. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use the Vesuva here. Pass it back. I suppose there's an argument, potentially, to Vesuvaing their Colonnade, so that we can transmute, but whatever. We can play a Fierce Empath this upcoming turn. All fear the 3-mana 1/1. The problem with getting Emrakul here is that it shows straight up that we're planning on doing something busted with Emrakul. They might suspect Through the Breach or something. But I think that it's what we should do, quite possibly. I mean, I guess breaching in the Titan is quite good also. Whatever, let's play the Empath, see if it even resolves. It might not. It resolves, okay. Huh. See, if we get Emrakul and cast a Breach and it doesn't resolve, then we're just left with a dead card in hand. So I think we just want a second Titan here. As sad as it is, I really want to breach out a Emrakul. I really, really do, but I just don't think that's going to be reasonable, so. Opponent says it's spicy. Oh, they don't know the half of it. They do not know the half of it. Archmage's Charm to draw. Okay. What, they didn't want to counter my 3-mana 1/1? I'm surprised. This is going to be a difficult one to win, I might say. If they just tap out for 5 fairy this upcoming turn, then we'll have it quite good here. They might think that we're just not willing to jam a Titan into potential counter magic without Cavern and just passing it. So they might just untap, play a land, you know, and immediately go for 5 fairy, and then we can breach in response, and there's nothing they can do about it. Of course, if we do that in response and not on their instep, then we have to sack the Titan on their instep. But if we do it on their instep in response to the Teferi untap trigger, then I think we get to keep the Titan during our turn. So, and of course, if they just do nothing here and pass, then, you know, that's that. Still not casting the Breach, because they probably have another Archmage's Charm or Counterspell or something. Instep this one, and then untap cast Titan, and force them to have double answer. I think that's the plan. Please play 5 fairy. Please play 5 fairy. No, come on, just play it, opponent. You know you want to. Second main phase, come on. No? Okay. Well, I mean, after this turn, they're going to have Counterspell plus Cryptic. So this way they have to waste an Archmage's Charm, so. I mean, and they also know that we have the Titan to put into play, so they have to counter this Breach, which is quite nice. Just the instep threat, untap threat, you know. It's almost like collected company in that way, I guess. It's kind of hilarious, to be completely honest. It would be funny if they just cast Vendilion Click, trying to cycle away our Titan, and then they're like, oh, double Titan, well, we lose. Cryptic count. No! No! No, opponent, no! That hurts. That hurts my soul. Summoner's Pact. Well, we could pact for Dryad, play Teetering Peaks, Stomping Ground, then not lose to Cryptic Bounce Draw. I think we basically just have to do that. Of course, it gives our opponent multiple windows to play some Planeswalkers or something. I think that's the best that we have. It could also be Azusa. I think it's Dryad, though. I guess we want to play the Teetering Peaks before we play the Dryad, just so they can't, like, path our Dryad or something. We'll yield to the Teetering Peaks. Pack for Dryad and cast it. Gotta undo the work that our opponent's Cryptic Command did. You know, them setting us back. Well, let's just get right back to where we wanted to be. How about that? Not playing the Garrison here, as that would expose us to another Cryptic Command, so... And now we get to swing for 3. Take that, opponent. 3 whole damage, can you believe it? And then we can start strongholding our guys, if we want to. That could be a guy. Might be a girl. Probably a guy. Can't tell. Shock Hallowed Fountain. Pass. Okay. They could be planning on animating Colonnade and blocking. That would be something. I guess we might as well leave up the Stomping Ground as our untapped source, since it represents more. Who knows, we could have a Lightning Bolt. Alright, we'll draw. Another Through the Reach is not bad at all. We can do the same thing we did before. Breach on their instep, untap, cast a Titan. I'm kind of tempted to Garrison to pick up this, castle. I think that makes sense. Not the castle, the Vesuva copying castle. It looks like a castle, but it's not. And we could also just Vesuva Teetering Peaks. That seems not good. I don't think we attack into our opponent's Colonnade either. I think we just Vesuva the Garrison, to be honest. Pick up... what? Teetering Peaks, I guess? Seems like the least important land to have in play. Plus, getting another trigger could be nice. No attacks. I guess we could have attacked with a Fierce Empath, as they probably would not have blocked in case we have Bolt. Like, that would just be too easy for us, you know? So, swinging for 1 might have been free there, but... And then we can do the, EOT Breach on Tap Titan. Our opponent has Snapcaster Mage, maybe? Maybe? It's actually pretty nice to have access to Breach in this matchup, because usually you can only do things on your turn and force your opponent to do stuff during your turn, but having Breach on their instep, it just seems like a really nice thing to have access to. Kaya's Guile. Yes! Yes! Take that, Kaya's Guile. Fierce Empath has something to say about you. That is... whew. I'm surprised they didn't just overload it and do all the things, but, you know, who am I to judge? I don't know why they wouldn't have, though, to be honest. Prismatic Ending Dryad. Okay. So they're holding up either Counterspell or Archmage's Charm. We can Azusa and Stronghold it and get in for even up to 5 points of damage. Let's see, if we play Azusa, land, we can still end of turn Breach. So the Azusa is pretty free here. Okay, here's a Stronghold. I think we are not supposed to haste our Azusa and attack. I think it's better to end of turn this Breach, so... Again, just force our opponent to have the things now. At least we got a dude in play. Actually, this time it actually is a girl. A gal. We got a gal in play. She's holding the fort. She's about to visit the Stronghold. I mean, our opponent has all the mana in the world, but I think we're just slamming through the Breach here. If they let it resolve, we're just snapping off like 2 Urza Sagas or something like that, because I mean, like, what else would you get? Through the breach. Does it resolve? Our opponent says, absolutely not, that does not resolve. What are you thinking? Counterspell, okay. Well, they could have snap counterspell here, but, I mean, we gotta just cast our things at some point in time. Explore, okay. Well, we can do this, activate Castle and cast a Titan, and still potentially be able to haste an attack with the Zeus. I guess if the Titan resolves, we could haste an attack with the Titan. The thing I'm thinking about is they could... I guess if they draw a card with Cryptic, that's way better for them than trying to stop themselves from taking 3 damage. 5 damage, I suppose, with the Teetering Peaks. So, I think it's right to just slam Titan in first main phase here. If they Cryptic counter tap, I guess I'm pretty okay with that. There's the Cryptic. Counter draw, of course. Let's just go ahead and, boom. Might as well Teetering Peaks as well, I think. With Vigilance. Vigilance. It's very important. Unfortunately, I actually think that this game is not really panning out for us. I guess we just need to top deck a Cavern at this point. We can't even top deck Talari West as we have literally no blue in play. It's not a Cavern. Alright, let's lead off on Explore, I suppose. Well, there's a blue source. Yeah, I guess we just Stronghold here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and attack. There's no reason to expend land drops right now, as we can Growth Chamber, pick up the Forest, play the Forest, activate Garenbrig, and cast Titan if our opponent doesn't do anything here. Or if they do something about the Azusa, I mean. Alright, yeah, let's just... I guess we could potentially draw another Explorer. Ugh. Alright, cast Explore. The second one. Okay, we'll play the Growth Chamber. We'll pick up the Boros Garrison, I think. Or not. Our opponent has something to do here. No? Okay. And I think we're supposed to go ahead and copy the Growth Chamber so we can transmute Talari West immediately if we draw it. Pick up Teetering Peaks, I suppose. Just get all the reusage out of this extra 2 damage a turn, huh? And I think we just hold on to the other lands. I don't see a reason to put the Gruul Turf into play. Could be better with a Saga if we manage to get one in play, or something like that. Or even could be used to pick up the Simic Growth Chamber that is currently... Or the Vesuva that is currently copying Simic Growth Chamber. They go for Snap Cryptic. Okay. Are they going to do bounce draw a Zusa or a bounce land or something? That doesn't seem like it does much to me, but okay. I guess they could bounce draw a Growth Chamber so we can't transmute. Like, that's not nothing, I guess. It seems a little risky on their part, though. Maybe they just need to cycle to try to find more cards. They bounce the Garrison. You got it. I guess this means we can't haste. I really don't care. We'll yield through this turn. You know what we need? A third Through the Breach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We are 1 bounce land away from having mana for Emrakul the Aeons Torn. Our opponent has got Teferi and Cryptic now, so we probably just lose. Cool. This doesn't... Them bouncing the Garrison doesn't actually even stop us from hasting Titan here either. Because we can get Crumbling Vestige, assuming the list still plays it. Do we trade with the Snap? I don't think so. We can do 3 damage at minimum to this Teferi just by Teetering Piecing our Azusa. Or just do straight up 3 damage to them, put them to 4. That's not nothing. Alright, we'll draw. Cavern. Cavern. Come on. If we draw Cavern... That's not Cavern. I was going to say, we could guaranteedly get our opponents... Or force our opponent to deal with our Azusa by playing Teetering Peaks, and then Cavern, and then Titan, getting a bounce land, picking up the Teetering Peaks, and then playing Teetering Peaks again to get in for 5 with the Azusa, but... Do we go after this Teferi or not? I feel like we don't. We also kind of need to put this Garrison into play. I guess we can do both. Wait, we have 3, pick up, 5... Huh. Yeah, we can actually kill their Teferi if they interact with our Titan. Or we can force them to interact with the Azusa or lose their Teferi, and then if they do interact with the Azusa, then potentially resolve a Titan. But then they just minus on the Titan. But I guess we get Talari West and Urza's Saga, and we're, like, okay with that. Very strange stuff. Okay, I think that's the line that we're going to take here. This lets us get lethal damage on the Teferi if they don't do anything about it, and if they do something, then we potentially resolve a Titan, so... If they have exactly, like, a 1 or 2 mana removal spell for Azusa, swing it Teferi. Don't care about putting them down to 2, because they have millions of ways of stopping us from getting through to their face, but they only have 1 Teferi in play. Aha! See, they have to do something about this. Kai's Guile. Alright, we'll sack this. And in second main phase, there is a little thing that I'd like to do called Casting Primeval Titan. Let's leave all the blue floating. Here's a Titan. I guess leaving the blue floating doesn't really matter. Well, you'll hear hit yes. Yeah, leaving the blue floating doesn't really matter because we probably just want to get T-West and a Saga here. I don't know, maybe Saga's not really doing much. Maybe we do just transmute immediately. Very debatable. I think I'm going to get the Saga, though. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Too bad we can't potentially pack for a Fierce Empath and set up an Emrakul. We currently have 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We could cast an Emrakul if we draw it. We could actually just hard cast Emrakul. I mean, we still have to pay. No, we don't have a pack to pay for, I don't think. Yeah, so let's just top deck Emrakul then. We could actually just hard cast Emrakul. That is crazy. Swing 2. Respect. Absolute respect. At the very least, we got some Saga tokens, and we can even haste the construct to get in for 3 points of damage. All right, let's go to main phase here. Interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna let this resolve. I think we just go ahead and play out the Sunhome here. I don't see a reason not to. I guess we probably should have transmuted, but whatever. We'll make a dude. Yeah, definitely transmuting would have been better this turn. Oh well. We'll Stronghold this. And I guess Clock Teferi, as we can't let that get to ultimate if at all possible. I guess they're just going to block with the Colonnade anyways, right? They don't know what we have in hand. It's possible that we have a Titan here that we're planning on casting, and they don't want to activate Colonnade and expose themselves to resolved Titan. Yeah, they Fatal Push. Okay, let's just force them to push now, rather than later. I suppose delaying the Talarios transmute thing for a turn is not really that bad, because then if we top deck a Titan, we can just transmute for Cavernous Souls instead. I guess that makes us wait another turn, though. Okay, they draw 2 cards. Yeah, I think we probably have this game lost unless our opponent... unless we draw Emrakul and our opponent has no way to answer it. They've already used 1 Dam and 2 Snapcaster Rages at this point, so... Snap Opt kind of feels like a waste, but... whatever. Alright, at this point, I think our only out is just naturally top-decking Emrakul, so... Imagine if we could have 1 Eye of Ugin in the deck and just search up Emrakul whenever we wanted. That would be kind of crazy. That, of course, Eye of Ugin is banned in Modern for very good reason. They activate Colonnade. Okay. Meaning they couldn't block with it if we went to attack with a Emrakul the Aeons Torn. Huh? I guess they could Cryptic Tap it. Alright, we'll draw. Emrakul? Maybe? No? Alright, let's get a token here. I guess paying like this. We'll search for an amulet, of course. I mean, we have to transmute the Talari West, of course. Guess we don't have to do it now. We'll haste the construct. This time it attacks through Colonnade as well. We'll go to combat. This is a -8, right? Do we care about the Teferi? I guess that we have no choice but to. Trying to think of other things we could transmute for. Like, we could transmute for a Selesny Sanctuary, so we could haste and double strike, but that doesn't really accomplish much. I think we just attack the Teferi here. By the way, I'm under no illusion that we're likely to win this game. We are probably extremely unlikely to win this game, so we'll yield to these amulet triggers. We'll float some mana, pick up the T-West, transmute it. I don't even know if we can afford to jam Titan this turn. I think we just have to wait one more turn and hope that we can... Well, I mean, we also have to resolve Summoner's Pact first. It doesn't make sense to get any land here. I guess we could just get Cavernous Souls and hope to exactly top deck Primeval Titan or Emrakul. Even that, I don't know if it does enough. I think we get Summoner's Pact here. It's easy to counter, but... Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all we got. We can't just cast Titan now, because they clearly have interaction. We basically just need to top deck Emrakul. We might even be able to haste Emrakul at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The bounce land lets us... Oh, we'd be one short. We sack the construct, I suppose. Oh, are we just taking lethal here? That's... Oh yeah, we were already facing lethal. I had to cast Titan this turn anyways. Wouldn't have mattered. They have Kai's Guile, so we're done. Okay, so against control, we want the trackers. Pithing Needle, Pact of Negation, Bajuka Bog, Ghost Quarter. Yep, we don't want Grazers by any stretch of the imagination. One Pact can go. Radiant Fountain can probably go, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Radiant Fountain against control decks, even though they can bring in things like Vendilion Click and stuff. I just think it's unimpactful. What else? Fierce Empath seems kind of weak, and it's especially weak to Ashiok, so I'm not a big fan of Empath here. Although I guess it does let us get Emrakul, which is kind of cool. I don't know, I think that's thinking way too long-term, though, because if you think about it that way, Tireless Tracker could also help us draw into Emrakul, so... Through the Breach is excellent in this matchup. Even if you don't have a creature to put in, your opponent basically just has to counter it. Garen Briggs, I guess, are not relevant, since we can get to Titan mana pretty easily regardless. We could even trim further on one pack and, like, keep a Garen Brig or something, but... I don't know that I'm very interested in that. Alright, we'll run it this way. We can always just get to the late game and just hard cast Emrakul. If we had drawn Emrakul in any of those last couple turns that we were just playing, I think we most likely would have won the game. Okay, our opponent seems to have submitted with 2 seconds left on the clock. We will play first, I suppose. Well, I didn't mean drawing the Emrakul right now, deck. Oh, and we also don't have any, like, real lands, since these will bounce themselves. So, yep, that's a mulligan. Easy mulligan. And this hand seems like an easy keep to me. Got a bottom one. I have no clue what it should be for the bottom, either. I think that Through the Reach is actually pretty good here. The tracker seems... I feel like we're not going to have a good window to cast tracker, since we're probably going to be playing Saga on turn 2. So we can get as many tokens out of it as possible, and then double Amulet might let us just cast Through the Breach or something, so... I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we're keeping this. I think the tracker is the bottom, but that could be wrong. I'm going to try it, though. We'll start off on the Valakut, I suppose. Since eventually we'll have double Amulet, and we might be able to transmute Talari West immediately off of that. Of course, we're not leading on Saga on turn 1 here, because if we do that, we won't have any window to actually pay 2 mana and make the construct, because this upcoming turn, it would have ticked up to 2, and we'd only have 1 land in play, which is not enough to activate, and then our next draw step, after it ends, before we ever get the chance to play a land in our main phase, we'd have to sack the Saga, and only have that 1 land still in play, so we wouldn't be able to get anything out of our Saga, so... And them taking the Amulet here kind of makes me feel like... Oh, well, never mind. Thoughtseize bug. Gotcha. I was going to say, it kind of makes me feel like we should play Talari West instead of the Saga, but since now we have a Talari West that'll be entering untapped, so we can make our Saga construct here, I think it's totally fine to just, you know, play the Saga right now. Simic Growth Chamber. Well, we could make a token and pick the Saga up. That is not the craziest thing in the world. I kind of like that. I'm going to do it. Might be a waste of a bounce land, but... Alright, let's activate this Saga for a token in response, and then we'll pick up the Saga. It also plays around Teferi Time Raveler as well, since they can minus to bounce the Saga, which would otherwise put us back quite a bit. I mean, now they can minus to bounce the Construct, but we got this Construct for free anyways, and it wouldn't disrupt our mana, so... And then next turn we can pass, and either through the breach on their instep, or activate Saga to make a guy, so... We'll see how it goes. We're playing a very slow and grindy game here. Not the usual route for Amulet, but in control matchups like this, it's extremely common. Play out the Saga, of course. And swing for 2, I guess. Do we want to lose our Construct to a Snap Opt? Honestly, I think I'm pretty okay with that if they don't Snap Thoughtseize us, so... In fact, they might have already Snap Thoughtseized if they had the Snapcaster, so... Yep, didn't think so. Alright, our opponent's down to 12. These constructs, they might just go the distance, you know? They steal the amulet. You absolutely got it. That is A-okay by me. That's strictly worse for them, I think, than them just drawing 2 cards. Especially if they don't hit a land drop here. And if they do, then they have 1 less card in hand than they otherwise should. If they had just drawn 2, so... Yeah. I don't think stealing Amulet is a very good play against the Amulet in general if you're playing the card Archmage's Charm. And look, they don't have the 4th land drop either. This might have just cost them a lot. We can even breach on their upkeep and force them to either use a counterspell or a cryptic, and then untap and slam Titan if we have the untap source. I guess we're going to be getting an Amulet into play anyways off the Saga, so we want another bounce land. Well, we could do the Saga thing again, where we reset it, but then we can't breach. We get Amulet into play, float 1, play T-West. No, play Gruul Turf. This actually lets us cast Titan this upcoming turn after, so I think it's going to be correct to through the breach on their upkeep. We end up getting no constructs out of our Saga, but I think that's fine. Yeah. It also shortens our construct clock, I guess. They could have Kaya's Guile here. Yeah, let's not attack into Kaya's Guile. They could, like, gain 4 life, make a 1/1, and just block the construct. Alright, on their upkeep, we're gonna breach right now. This puts them in a really awkward spot, because they have to counter this, but then they might not have a counterspell for our Titan. Like, especially since they missed on land drop, they could have 2 2-mana counterspells, and then just miss on land, and then we just resolve Titan this upcoming turn, so... And this is what I was saying about instant speed breaches. It's very, very powerful. Alright, cool. So we get Titan here. We'll search. Get Amulet, of course. There's the Gruul Turf. Now, what are we getting with this Titan when it comes into play? We could... I think we want to keep Bounce Land in hand here, quite possibly. I think that's fine. We even have 1 Gruul Turf already, but especially if we're getting Sagas here, resetting Sagas could be quite good. Question is, what does this Titan get? Our opponent appears to have F6'd, but I don't know if I want to trust it, because they could have Path. They only play, like, 2 Paths if they play Path at all, but we're just in such a good position. I think that we can afford to just get, like, double Saga here, or something like that. Or we could get Bog. That doesn't really do much, I don't think. Cavern of Souls and Saga, maybe? Definitely debatable. It really felt like our opponent had F6, though. So it makes me want to play into the Path, but I think it's probably just wrong. Saga's definitely one of the picks. Bog wouldn't be bad, but I don't think it does enough. Could get a blue source so we can transmute, so like Saga... Oh wait, we can't transmute. Maybe just double Saga. That seems like it might be going a little too deep, though. I'm kind of okay with it, though. We can even double activate Saga before we play Gruul Turf and pick 1 up. And then the other Saga gets a Pithing Needle to name 5 Fairy or Jace. Okay, I'm just going to go with double Saga. It could be wrong, but... And of course, with Saga, we want to stack the Saga triggers on top, so we'll be able to tap for a mana, and then our amulets will do the thing that they do. Yeah, not playing into our opponent potentially having path. I mean, because they have to path this Titan anyways, so. If they have path, okay, they didn't have it maybe, but I just didn't trust their F6 because that stuff can be tricky. Like sometimes they can F6 until they see you cast a Titan and then very quickly remove their yields. Okay, they're missing land drop again. I think this game is pretty much over. Another through the breach, that's cool. It's cool, it's cool. Okay. We'll play a Gruul Turf. We'll activate Saga using the Gruul Turf. And we'll pick up the tapped Saga, I suppose. And we'll go to combat and attack. Okay. Yep. This time we get, I guess, another Saga, and Ghost Quarter doesn't seem relevant. Sunhome could be good. We could actually just get Sunhome and Boros Garrison, haste the token, make a second one that would be 8 damage. That doesn't seem like it matters, really. Talari West isn't a bad choice. I'm gonna get Saga Talari West. I think that's the most versatile. Again, we stack the Saga on top. Let these amulets go. Yeah, if they declare no blocks, I'm making a token here, because that would be lethal. I guess that plays into them having a Wrath after... whatever. I am playing into the Wrath, I think. Alright. Yeah, they go to 0. Okay, so no big deal. No big deal. Dude, that through the breach on upkeep play just won us the game. Okay. Neat. Neat. Yeah, I don't think I want to change anything. And I think also a big factor of that game was our opponent charmed to steal our amulet rather than to draw 2, and that was just a mistake, in my opinion. You almost never want to steal amulet against this deck, because the deck really doesn't rely on amulet almost at all. Especially in long grinding matchups like this, the amulet is arguably worse than just having a threat. Speaking of threats, this hand is basically all threats. If we draw any untapped land source, we can play turn 1 Talari West, turn 2 Saga, and start making dudes, but that's quite slow. I think we can afford a mulligan once. The Summoner's Pact is kind of dead in our hand anyways, so... We have a Breach, we have a Pact of Negation, we have Saga and the ability to activate it. So, yeah, we're going to keep this. I think we keep the fetch land, perhaps. We'll bottom the Stronghold, I suppose. Keep the fetch land because we can use it in concert with Tireless Tracker, for example, in order to do some cool stuff. Like, make some extra clues and stuff. There's a Tireless Tracker also. Well, I mean... Yeah, it's just Forest Go. And then we'll play a turn 2 Saga and threaten to make some clues, I suppose. Not clues, threaten to make some constructs. Maybe we can upkeep breach our opponent again and do some fun things that way. Summoner's Pact. I mean, that's not bad. Alright, we'll play a Saga and pass. Hopefully we draw an untapped source that lets us activate Saga without expending our fetch land, but if that doesn't happen, then that doesn't happen, you know, that's fine. We'll take this upkeep stop away until we need it. We'll just yield through the turn. Alright, untap land. Growth Chamber. Okay. Well, yeah, I think now we do just have to play out the fetch land and, you know... We need to get our tokens out of the Saga, or at least one token before it dies. Otherwise, we've done nothing this entire first, 4 turns of the game, so... And I am going to fetch up a Breeding Pool. Oh, wait, we don't play Breeding Pool. Yeah, I guess it's just Stomping Ground then. Sure. The 2 damage is unlikely to matter. We'll make a dude. We'll untap. Go to draw step. Interesting. So, if we Summoner's Pacted and Pact of Negation, so we could breach in a Titan with counter magic backup. Isn't that just lethal? Our opponent doesn't even have white up, so they could have double counterspell for the breach and the Pact of Negation, and then we would just die to our Summoner's Pact. That said, I think they're likely to cast a single counter magic spell here, like an Archmage's Charm or Cryptic, hoping it's good enough, and then we can Pact of Negation and then kill them. I think it's probably worth it to go for it. And if we lose this match because I went for this play, then I am fine with that. Let's get Amulet. Let's play the Growth Chamber, I suppose. Alright, we'll untap. We'll Summoner's Pact first, I guess. We'll pick up the Forest. Summoner's Pact. We'll get the Titan. We'll through the Breach. Please play a counterspell. Okay, well, if they have the second counterspell, we're dead. I'm fine with this, though. No! Okay, well, we're dead. Oh, boy. Come on. Tell me in the comments, which of you would not go for it there? You just have to, right? You actually just have to go for it, right? We have to pay for the pact negation too. Oh, they counterspelled the through the breach. Okay, well, yeah, we're super exceedingly dead. Our opponent says, good game, lol. GG's. Well, you know what? I am happy with that because we took a calculated risk and it didn't pay off. But you know what? It could have paid off, and I still think it was a legitimate play. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think that was too much of a risk to take, or would you have gone for it too? I was just excited to try to get this Teetering Peaks win, but if that's what you're looking for, then I suppose you'll have to wait for a future match. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.